We are coming to you live from the Bold Restaurant in Laboni. We'll be having that exclusive conversation with Nollywood actor Deyemi. I'm super excited because of the many things that he's been doing, from filmmaking to voice acting. He did a bit of marketing as well. He'll be telling us all of his journey right here at the Bold Restaurant. I'm Gideon Nicholas Day. This is Sports One-on-One, and let's go meet Deyemi. Hi! Hi, Deyemi. Good to finally see you. Welcome to Ghana.
Thank you. Thank you.
To say.
Yeah.
Ghana to say.
No, sir.
Nyame adom.
Boko, nice. Nyame adom.
Hey, who got you chi? See, we are here in a Bold Restaurant. Here, ne Nollywood actor Deyemi ne betina se. Midindi Nicholas now your friend say.
Midindi Deyemi.
Your friend Deyemi.
Your friend Deyemi.
Ghana to say.
Yeah, your friend was saying.
Your friend Nicholas.
Hi. It's saying.
Nyame adom na say.
Boko, Nyame adom. Nyame adom.
Ghana to say kwan so woman na kwan so to say.
Kakra.
So I was asking that coming to how was the journey coming here?
It was good.
It
was pretty good. Pretty easy flight. Nigeria is not too far from Ghana. Lagos to Accra is maybe like a 1 hour, 1 hour, 30-minute flight. And it was really just chill. We were, my team and I were having conversations in the car, on the flight, sorry. And before we knew it, we were here.
All right. That's nice. Well, before we delve into the interview, we have a few short, spicy questions we'll be asking. So you have to answer them quickly.
Okay. Let's go.
1 million followers or first class degree?
Ooh, I've done so much in life without a first class degree, but that's an interesting question. 1 million followers or a first class degree? I'll take the first class degree. Yeah, it's a proof of my intelligence.
Okay. Who's that one Nollywood actor you'd call if you get stranded abroad?
Ooh, that would be Kunle.
Okay. Apart from Ghanaian jollof, which other Ghanaian food are you really familiar with?
Are you kidding me? Wache.
Oh, okay.
Banku.
That's nice.
Kenke.
Hey. The Ghana boy.
What's the fee? Starts with F.
Fufu.
No, apart from fufu, there's another one. It's like plantain mashed.
Eto. Is it eto?
I forget. It's like the fancy food that I've had. Yeah. And
Kelewele.
Yeah.
Okay. If you could remake any Nollywood classic today, which one would it be?
If I could remake a Nollywood classic, Isakaba.
Yes. Which Guinness World Record can you set or break?
The Guinness World Record for sleeping.
What's the harshest feedback you've ever received as an actor?
The harshest feedback I've ever received as an actor was from myself. Like, what the hell are you doing? What is rubbish? Get better. I'm my harshest critic. Yeah.
Have you ever lost a role because you didn't have enough followers?
Well, I didn't lose the role. I just didn't get paid what I wanted. I was told by the producer, but why should I pay you that amount of money? You don't have a lot of followers. And I was like, So I went in and I got the followers.
Okay, we'll delve into that later. Have you ever muted or blocked another actor on socials?
Yes, I have. But I'm not going to mention the name.
But what was the reason?
I'm not. I try to curate my social media as a place of peace and calm. And it's not just entertainers or anything. It's anybody who comes on my page with negative energy, you're out permanently. If you comment something negative on my friend's page, you will not have the opportunity to find my page to comment that kind of nonsense. I block you ahead of time. I don't do well with people who spread negativity, and people who haven't spent enough time developing their
their own selves or their social media.
The word is intellect. I'm just trying to
Intellect. Oh.
look for a nicer way to say it. But yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Final one.
Yeah.
Books or movies?
Come on. That's that's a wicked question. Whoa, books or movies? I started out with books as a child. My very first memories, and Blyton's, Famous Five, Secret Sevens, them books. But I always had a very active imagination, so I read books like I was watching the movie.
Right.
So I guess it was easy for me to translate later on in life into movies. So I really can't choose either one of the two.
Okay.
I'll just,
You just skip it.
I'll just skip that.
That's the end of the first round.
That was just the first round.
Yeah. Now we are going into the conversations. How would you describe your journey so far? I mean, you are one of the most versatile actors for Nollywood. You've done a bit of.
So they say.
So that's what you
So they
do.
say.
I mean, you do voice acting, you do the acting as well. You've done marketing. How would you describe your journey so far?
Okay, so look, let me. It's been very, very challenging.
Challenging.
Very, very challenging. I find that because I came from a chemical engineering background, and then I worked in sales and marketing for about 10 years. I pivoted from engineering to sales and marketing. And then that was before I eventually, went full-time as an actor. So I've been dabbling in stage plays and short film, web series. And I just quit my job. I was head of marketing for a company called OLX. And I quit that to act full-time. Now, because of the way I was, I'm this geeky, nerdy, type of guy that doesn't look like he belongs in the entertainment space. A lot of people didn't know, they didn't quite know how to place me. So it was difficult finding representation. It was difficult finding people who would cast me in the kind of roles that I really thought I could play and I really wanted to play. So I had to build that network and that confidence, that people would have in me, by first seeking to add value to them. And, it's been just over a decade of doing this. And I guess some of the things that I did must have worked.
There was a point you said you didn't feel fulfilled, so you had to take a break. Would you describe yourself as being fulfilled now?
No.
Why?
I've come to realize that I would probably never be. Because I'm exploring. Life for me is an adventure. And it just feels like I look at one thing, I'm like, ooh, wow, that would be nice to do. And then I go ahead and I do it. And I look at another thing, I'm like, that would be really nice. And I go ahead and do it. And then when I get there, I'm like, okay, this is done. What's next? So the question for me is always, what's next?
Okay.
And so, yes, I find fulfillment. I'm grateful, bro. I'm grateful for where I am today. But I'm looking forward to so much more.
Would there be another time where you take another break and maybe go and reflect and then come back again? I don't know.
So I do take little breaks, but the break you're talking about is a big break, about 2 years.
Yes.
I dusted my resume and I went back to work. I was like, yo, I've tried to break in, I'm not getting the type of roles that I will find fulfillment in. I wasn't even being paid, like I just mentioned, the kind of money that I would find fulfilling. And I was like, okay.
Do you feel like the acting was not for you, or you were not performing to reach a certain maximum?
I just got to a point where I thought I didn't have the strategy to win.
Okay.
That's where I looked at it and I said, I don't believe in impossibilities. I believe that everything is possible if you have the right strategy. And I just felt like either my makeup, the way I am as a person, didn't quite match. And so the product doesn't match the market. And so I was like, you know what? I'm done. I wasn't going on break, actually. I was done. I was done. I was quitting. I was like, okay, next pivot, we are going into film distribution. And so I went in for a job interview with Silverbird Film Distribution. I got the job, head of marketing for Silverbird Film Distribution, got promoted to head distribution for Nollywood Films, and eventually I became the acting CEO of the company, all within 2 years.
Right.
Yes.
Wow. Before the calls came in.
And so, COVID happened. And, work was slow, everybody got sort of like furloughed, when you're not being paid salaries and stuff. Uh, and I started getting these calls after call during COVID. And then the first call was from Kakindele with Omage to the Saga. Then the next one was Kemede Tibas, King of Boys. After that, Kunle, Afolayan, Swallow. It was literally just back to back to back. But I was still done. I was still done. I said, I'm not doing this again. Then Omogeto comes out in December of 2020. Highest grossing movie in the history of Nollywood. Everybody starts calling me and offering me these huge sums of money I've been asking for. But I still said no.
Wow.
I still said no until, I got to a point where I was like, this is really what I love doing.
But what do you think was the turning point? What do you think they saw then for them to call you back again? Or do we try to comfort?
They saw me prove myself. That's what I think happened. As I said, didn't have the right strategy. I looked at myself, and there seems to be a mismatch, and I guess that changed.
Anyway, we're getting some drinks from Bold. Can we have that? Thank you so much, Bold.
Thank you. Medase.
All right. Thank you very much. Thank you. I'm asking my move sip.
It's interesting.
Yes. Okay. So then you went into full time right after. I mean, the calls from.
Yeah. Then I went back full time. Yes.
And everything. How has that been coming back and people appreciating you more?
I've never really been one to seek praise and appreciation and the whole fame thing. So it's never really been about people appreciating me. It's really just that I'm finally doing work that I truly believe in. Work that I'm able to take care of my responsibilities from.
Yeah.
So all that just balanced out.
Oh, this was the biggest movie that really paid you big money. Do you want to say?
The biggest film that paid me the biggest money was my film.
Okay.
So I produced my first film in 2020. It came out in 2024, last year, February. It's called All's Fair in Love. It's currently showing on Prime Video. Okay, so you guys should go watch it. All's Fair in Love, beautiful film. And as an actor producer, I earn the most.
Oh.
Yeah, I earn the most of that. Yeah, so ownership.
So like, wait, okay. I'm gonna say, so is it when you movies from other actors, directors, they don't really pay much when it comes to when you're acting, though you don't get the much more you deserve from
So I'm a two-time, it's like a back-to-back highest grossing actor in Nollywood, right? And by the time I did it the second time, I looked at it and I realized I think I need to change this goal to highest earning actor.
Okay.
And so to answer your question, I'm one of the highest paid male actors in actors, period.
That's nice.
In Nigeria.
Oh, that's great. Anyway, you talked about Prime Video. I just wanted to talk about streaming platforms and how a lot of the movies are now on YouTube. Is it like our new Netflix now?
No. Definitely not.
So what's really happening?
So I guess what I would say is there are different categories of films. And it really just depends on what the producer's vision is.
Okay.
There are ways you can tell a story that requires hundreds of thousands of dollars to film. You try to shoot something that has to do with Mars and spaceships and stuff. Very $1 million, $2 million, $10 million. But then if you're trying to tell some other types of stories, you don't need that kind of budget. And what we have on YouTube are people who, maybe they haven't grown to a point where they can do the bigger budget films.
Okay.
Or they've simply just chosen to tell these types of stories to this type of audience. Because the YouTube audience is different from the cinema audience, different from the Netflix audience. So they want to serve that community And so they tell these stories that are very powerful,
Right.
but it's within, their capacity to do.
I'm asking because maybe the funding that might go into a YouTube movie production, and at the end of the day, I don't know how much they're going to earn. You're going to earn from YouTube that much to make up the amount of money that you spent in producing the movie. So
I think a lot of the people
are
that
making money.
a lot of the people that I'm working with are making really good films on YouTube.
Yeah.
In fact, my only criteria for working with anybody on YouTube is that you just show me some level of excellence. You have great stories, you have great characters, you have great production quality, you know, and when I see that, I'm interested. And then if I see that it's something I really want to do, I'll take it. Yeah.
That's great. How have you worked with any Ghanaian directors for some time now? And how has it been when you compare Ghana's industry to Nollywood? Are we meeting the standard? I don't know.
Look, I don't know if I should say this online, but I sometimes prefer shooting in Ghana than in Lagos. Lagos is this really hyperactive place. And so filmmaking requires a level of calmness
Okay.
that we don't seem to have in Lagos. There's this, energy that we're always trying to do things. But Ghana just is always so chilled, so calm, and I really love filming here. I've done quite a few movies in Ghana.
Okay, do you want to list a few, or do you want to list any of the producers that you?
My first one was If Tomorrow Never Comes with Yvonne Nelson, directed by Pascal Amanfo.
Okay.
No Man's Land, directed by Pascal Amanfo. There was oh boy, something, An African City. Nicole Amatefo. There've been a few. There've been quite a few.
That's nice. But generally, looking at Ghana, I mean, Nollywood, and comparing ourselves to Hollywood, I think recently I was having a
There is no comparison.
no, I was having a conversation with Shegun Arinze, and he was talking about the fact that we are now trying to copy how Hollywood is producing movies. Like we want to do science fiction, we want to do this instead of telling our local stories, authentic stories, and he finds us as a challenge. I don't know if you have that same view as well, because we'll spend a lot of budget probably remaking a Hollywood movie and living our stories there, and as we wait for someone else to come and rewrite them.
Shegun Arinze, legendary Nollywood actor.
Definitely.
Legendary. I have absolute respect for him. I understand what he means by people trying to retell in a Nigerian or Nollywood way, a Hollywood format, a Hollywood, system. But the question I'd like to ask, would be, what are our stories? What are African stories? And aren't they just human stories? And don't human beings have the same experiences across the world? You fall in love, you mourn a loss, you go through trials and tribulations, if you call it that. And you can tell any kind of story, really. Or do you want to talk about our superstition and how we believe that there's something called jazz, voodoo, whatever you want to call it, and people disappearing and, things happening. That's a bit science fiction, isn't it?
I think
You know?
Madam Coin. Yeah, yes. I mean, it was superstition.
Yeah, it was superstition. Yeah, but it was also very interesting.
Yes.
So it's about. I mean, America has Marvel, and they have the Thors and the Lokis and the likes. Africa has, our African gods. We have Shango or Shun. I'm sure there's some, Ghanaian gods. Those are the stories that, perhaps we should try telling a bit more of.
If you had maybe a whole budget from Netflix, everybody else, for you to produce one movie, what would you talk about?
Ooh. Wow. I was recently cast in a Japanese sci-fi TV series. I was filming in Tokyo for 3 months. And whilst I was there, I just kept thinking how how can we, because the level of filmmaking was like mind blowing. And I kept saying to myself, how can African storytellers, filmmakers collaborate with Japanese, filmmakers to create, content that would resonate with both cultures. And because our cultures are pretty similar, if you really look at this, and I spent enough time understanding that, and then I came up with a story that involved, something that starts out in Japan and then comes to Nigeria, and that's the kind of film I want to produce. Yeah, action. It's gritty.
You've been doing a lot of thrillers lately. I mean, initially, I think I watched a conversation with you and was it the Diary of I've forgotten the name.
Oh yeah, Dario, Nigerian.
Yeah, that
girl.
we were talking about the fact that you started off as bad boy kind of roles before. Now you are doing everything. And for me personally, recently a lot of the things that movies I've seen you in,
Yeah.
like the thrillers, I like them. Like it gives a lot of action. Would you say is the place that you would really thrive? Really doing a lot of thrillers.
I've done, films that cut across different genres,
Right.
and I'm yet to see a film that I'm not proud of.
That's a good.
Whether drama, rom-com, action, thriller.
But what role would
Yeah.
you never play?
I don't know. I haven't seen it. I mean, look. Sometimes I reject,
Yeah, I was gonna ask that. If,
Yeah, I reject lots of offers, but for different reasons.
Okay, I was gonna ask if you want to share like some of the criteria for some of the movies that you would go for. Oh, okay, this is me. This one doesn't suit me. This suits me. This doesn't suit with me.
If I don't find that the story resonates with me, first of all, and that I cannot identify with the character, I don't find myself being drawn to the character. And then I look at the skill set of the people that are going to be around me, because as an actor, I'm the most vulnerable person on set. I don't know what's going on. I'm living in my own world and hoping that everybody else is doing their job.
Yeah.
Once I have faith in the people around me, I love the story, I'm attached to the character, I will take the gig. I tell people, well, I guess, I find that people come to me with their best, foot forward.
Right.
Yeah.
You have been heavy on social media. I think initially.
Really? Social media?
Let me come to my point.
Social media.
So initially, right, for some of the conversations that I listened to,
Right.
one of your strategy that's really helped you is building a very good social media now. I mean, getting the following, getting the numbers, taking off your shirt at one point to get people's eye to be on you and everything. I mean, you have cracked the code.
No. We need to revisit that.
Revisit that
real quick.
Okay.
Real quick. I found that by living an authentic life,
Right.
if I turn the camera on myself, and as an actor, other people turn the camera at me. But if I turn the camera on myself and let people into that part of my life, I love working out. I enjoy working out. It has transformed me mentally, physically, and then I share that with people. Same thing with my friendships with there's an upcoming actor. Do you know any upcoming actor called Kunle Remy?
I think
He's done one or two films. He's not really popular like that, but on TikTok he's big. He's a good TikTok,
I think like
skit
one of
maker.
your interviews you mentioned him. But
I mentioned, yeah. Don't worry, he's not really important. I'm going to get into trouble with this guy. Kunle Remy is one of my best friends, and we're constantly at each other online. And it's just what we do in our private moments. We just turn the camera and people just see it. Same thing with Bimbo Ademoye. She's such a darling. I have several friends, in the industry as well. And sometimes I'm with, my family, and I want the world to see, this part of my life. I'm really proud of my family. I really love my family. I'm excited to be with them. So sometimes I turn the camera and people see that, and that's how my social media following, I think,
Because of
started to go,
authenticity.
because of that authenticity, because I was just being me, you know.
What advice would you give to any skate maker, any social media influencer on maybe a content they should create and how they should go about it in order to be relevant for the longest?
Worst person to ask that question. My manager has been on my case. Oh, we need to strategize about your content. I'm like, please give me a film. Let me act. All this, but so I'm the worst person to ask. But I again, as I said earlier on, find what's authentic to you. Find what is true to you. Find something that is as easy as breathing to you, but very difficult for everybody else to do. That's how you win. I think that's how you win
Easy as breathing.
as a content creator.
That's nice. What's next today? I mean, what as you do you have anything in the pipeline?
Bro, I'm just trying to be excellent, man. Like I'm just trying to. I want to do excellent work, and I'm really eager to see what the rest of the world has to offer. There's a film that I recently featured in. One of the biggest films I've done so far, and it's me as lead playing this action guy, guns blazing, John Wick level type stuff. And the film got into Canada, got into the UK theaters, and I can see how people are responding to our movies. I want our films, first of all, to travel, but I also want to be in films that tell stories from a different perspective. Right now, I'm an African actor in an African story. I would like to be an African actor in
a Hollywood story or something.
Well, international story.
Okay.
So with the Japan series, you're gonna see an African actor in a Japanese film.
Oh, that's great.
Series, yeah.
That's good. Congratulations on that.
Thank you.
So we're wrapping up. One last question I ask is, what one thing you want to be remembered for? What's that legacy you want Deyemi to live?
I want people to look at everything that I have done and the life that I have lived. They look at everything that I've done and they see the spirit of excellence that I try to put into everything that I do. And they are inspired to be excellent. And then when they read up on my story from coming from nowhere, like I went going through this crisis where you go from being, comfortable family to just going to zero as a person on my own, went to zero and then rising back to the top. I want people to know that story and be motivated to believe in themselves and say, if it can happen for them, it can definitely happen for me. That's the legacy that I want to leave.
Thank you so much for coming.
Appreciate it.
I want you to wrap up in Chi. Say thank you for joining us. Oh, let me just sign up. I'm Gideon Nicholas Day. So he's gonna take us away. However you want to say.
We say
yeah. So
Medasi Pulse.
Yeah, you can say Medasi Pulse.
Medasi
Yeah,
Pulse.
Fremi.
Yeah, Fremi, Deyemi
Maba Pulse 1-on-1.
Maba Pulse 1-on-1.
one.
Maba Pulse 1-on-1. My Fremi, Deyemi Okanlawon.
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's go.
My Fremi.
Yeah,
Fremi, Deyemi, then me.
Maba Pulse 1.
Maba?
Pulse 1-on-1.
Maba Pulse 1-on-1. 1-on-1.
Yeah.
Maba, yeah, Fremi. Okay.
All right. He's wrapping up, guys. Yeah. Let's see. Go.
Who is that person that doesn't want me to be great in tree? Hi guys. Yefremi Deyemi Okanlawon, Maba Pulse 1-on-1. Medasi.
Medasi, so bye. We'll see you some other time. My name is Gideon Nicholas Day. Have a good day.